Kenny Bodanis, parenting expert, blogger, joins us in our studios this morning. Thank you so much, Kenny, for being here. Okay, I love this. This segment is about mistakes that parents make, especially when it comes to decision making and sort of consulting your kids about what they want to do. Now, I have to be clear. I'm 32 years old. The parents are European, and what they said went. They were like,
just do it because I said so.
Well, they weren't like, what do you want to have for dinner tonight? They're like, this is what we're having for dinner. How involved should children be in the decision-making process when it comes to things like dinner and other things like that?
Well, that's why I think things have changed a lot, probably for the better, I think, as we tend to be more inclusive now than we ever were, but there is a time and a place. For instance, now is a very difficult time of year. You've sort of settled into the school routine and the excitement has worn off. They're starting to get a little more tired. The days are getting shorter. This weekend we turn the clocks back. And it tends to be that parents, when you're at your most tired and most frustrated, you snap and you're less capable of making decisions, so you sometimes open the floor up when you shouldn't. So for
kids, some people will say kids are little and don't know anything.
In some ways that's true, but they sure know how to tell you what they want.
That's true, very true.
It might not be the right answer, but they'll give you an answer.
So where do you say, okay, I'm including you in this decision, less so in this decision? Where
I think the first step is to understand how tired and frustrated you are. Do you have time to listen to a democracy?
Yes.
Right? If you're at the end of your day, you've worked, you've come home, dinner's got to be on the table, and you can't think of what to make, so sometimes you'll just spout and you'll go, kids, what do you want for supper?
Mistake.
Yes. Especially if you have more than one of them and they tend to, oppose each other, which some children do. It's like, well, I want macaroni, well, I want chicken. Now here you are settling a battle.
Macaroni? No.
Yeah, well, that's a possibility. But you have to, when you realize that you're a little tired and you're having trouble making the decision, sometimes it's best to just say, look, this is what's for supper. It's going on the table, and eat it or don't eat it, and don't get caught up in the maelstrom of giving your kids decision making.
Just a touch of dictatorship goes a long way in this. In this kind of a situation.
Exactly.
Another big thing that we want to talk about is disagreeing. Parents arguing, partners arguing in front of their kids.
Right.
You're yay or nay, or sometimes it happens. Where do you stand on this?
I think a healthy disagreement is a healthy thing. I think it's important to understand what the disagreement is about. If it's a decision that's going to affect your children, so for instance, one of you says, you know what, why do you guys want to stay up late tonight, go watch a movie? And the other one goes, well, they had a really long day and they did this and this and this and that. Now the kids are going,
you just did the eyebrows that parents do when they kind of don't want their kids to pay attention.
Maybe today's not the day. But one of you might have that information that, look, they've already been told that tomorrow they're going to do a special thing if they got to bed early. So now there's the undermining that comes into play. So there's nothing wrong with arguing in front of your kids, but if it's about a decision the two of you disagree on, facing the children, it's best to sort of do a wink and a nod and do the, can I just talk to you for a second? Just out here.
And with the high-pitched voice, it just goes a little bit higher, right? But the other thing is that kids would often, and I used to do this all the time, I'd sort of pit the parents against each other.
Always.
My mom would say no to something, and then I'd ask my dad, and then he would say yes. So that, how do you get around that little tricky conundrum?
I think what's important is the person who was going to give the good news, once that settles itself, should also be the person who gives the bad news.
Oh yeah, so you don't have good cop, bad cop.
That's right. So if I say, sure kids, you can stay up and watch the movie, and when I have a discussion with my wife and I find out, oh, there are reasons they shouldn't, I should be the one to go up and go, look kids, it's not going to happen tonight.
Okay.
Otherwise we walk into the room and then mom says, well, no kids, not tonight. Oh, but daddy said, and then you're cooked. You're done.
So are you good at being the bad cop?
I'm the short-term bad cop. I will snap quickly, not listen as long. My wife will listen a little bit longer, but she tends to be a bit of a tougher cookie.
All right, so I guess the key is finding the balance. Kenny Bodanis, thank you so much for joining us. All this information and lots more, of course, available on our website, btmontreal.ca. Stay tuned, you guys. You're watching Breakfast Television, only on City. Thank you, Kenny.